I'm 12 years old, standing in front of the ocean for the very first time. I feel the wet sand stuck in between my toes. I taste the sea salt on my lips. I'm taking in this big blue body of water. I'm at awe. The skies aren't blocked by streetlights like in North Philly. It goes on and on like the waves touching the horizon. I could never see the horizon in North Philly. I begin to walk deeper and deeper into the ocean. The currents beneath me start to pull me in. The sounds of the waves crashing loudly. It's all chaos. I'm overwhelmed. How can something be so beautiful, yet so dangerous at the same time? You see, I thought this visit to the ocean would be an escape from my North Philly, from the sounds of my North Philly. If you can imagine 23 people living in one house, 3 generations under one roof, the constant bickering, the aunts and uncles fighting, the kids playing, the sirens that would ride by. So I would try to find my place of calm, my place of peace in the midst of that chaos by brushing great-grandmom's long, wavy hair, as she required us to do so every morning. But the walls were so thin, and you can hear the constant commotion behind every door. Man, I was always on the edge of chaos. Now, I'm 16 years old. The person who I thought was my true love, my first love, someone I had known growing up my entire life, someone I trusted, someone I grew up with, was dragging me away from my shoreline, away from my home, away from my security. It wasn't love. It was an abusive relationship. I wanted so bad to be free, to simply feel the breeze blowing through my hair when I stood by my shoreline. But none of that could prepare me for being locked behind 4 walls, imprisoned. He wouldn't let me leave. Left splashing all alone, and I will ask myself, where is my shoreline? Which way do I go? How did I even get here? I planned 100 different ways in my mind on how to escape. I looked in every single direction, trying to replace my fear with courage. Scarred and uncertain, confused and lost. Still, I took one deep breath and I began to swim, and I never looked back. I found love again, a love that I didn't think was possible, one where I finally felt free, where I truly felt loved. I was learning how to soar again, while my previous abuser was left drowning in the riptides of his own trauma. So one day, my abuser took the life of my new love and nearly took mine. His trauma wouldn't allow me to see beauty, to see love again. He showed me what happens in the riptides of someone's own trauma. He showed me what happens when you don't address your own tragedies. That day, I was immersed so deeply that there was no light in sight. I thought that I had found my happy ending. I would ask myself, how am I here drowning again? I didn't know how to get to the surface, let alone to the shoreline. All I can do was grieve this unimaginable death, this heartache, this love that was taken from me. I had to figure out which weight I would shed so I didn't sink to the bottom. I was so burdened and full of anger and resentment for the person that I once knew. Never in a million years would I think that this person was capable of such evil. The weight of the resentment kept pulling me under and under and under. I was trying to find air, and in order for me to find that air, I had to let it go. Remembering who he once was at the surface, when we were just kids, just looking for love. Lost deep under, moving the wrong direction he went. See, the loss of my love could never be filled. But I found my peace by choosing forgiveness. We all have weights in our lives that keeps us from being our most free selves. You could either cut them loose or you can drown. I wish my twin sister could be here to share the peace that I feel at my shoreline. She suffered the weights of substance abuse disorder and a mental health disorder. She lost herself. She fought the depths of darkness until she can fight no more. My beloved sister made the impossible choice of letting herself sink. 11 years later, I lost my baby brother too, to gun violence. Without my siblings that once filled that house of 23, I could hardly recognize myself. They were a constant within the chaos. So I lost my siblings. I can't possibly go no lower, right? I sank so deep. It was pitch black. I couldn't see. I felt broken from the pressures of the heavy waters. If I can't find space within the thoughts, although I'm surrounded by complete silence. How do I get out? My brother's life was taken when he was saving my nephew's life. It wasn't even a thought. It was an act of love. The day he passed, I looked at myself in the mirror as my entire family mourned, and I would say to myself, do I have that kind of love? Can I rely on my instincts? My brother has given me the greatest gift when he passed: the will to save others, and the will to save myself. His selflessness gave me hope and life to move again. So I found purpose in the very same place he took his last breath, where I now work at that hospital, serving families who felt what we felt. I created an organization to support families, to share space, whether that be in silence, in tears, in grief, whatever that may look like. I sit in spaces that are heavier than most. I sit in these spaces in hopes that I would help them find their shoreline, their place of peace, their place of calm. I heal myself by pulling others up with me, those who are stuck, those who can't find their shoreline. Trauma has changed this North Philly girl, where I no longer have the house of 23 because the numbers no longer add up, where I celebrated birthdays and holidays and anniversaries. Those days are always so heavy for me and full of pain. So I prepare my life, my daily task to get through the day. I spend 5 minutes to find that place of peace, to remember the depths of the waters that I've overcome, to remember to find peace at that shoreline. So sometimes I'm crying, sometimes I'm reflecting, sometimes I'm meditating. Every day looks different for me. But in that time, I'm able to validate my grief and move forward. I'm able to manage the weights of these traumas. What in your life is weighing you down? Is it grief, doubt, depression? Can you even see it? To be free is to recognize the burdens, acknowledge our sufferings, and finally then you can be released from this pain. Without a sense of calm, I would ask, can you be free? So allow me to take you to my place of calm. So gently close your eyes and imagine with me sitting on great-grandmom's hair, brushing her long, wavy hair. Sitting on your favorite person's lap, watching the best cartoons. Watching the cars go by as you sit on your steps. Take another 5 seconds. Imagine your place of calm. Is it sitting at the kitchen table drinking tea with your mom? Is it reminiscing through old photos with people that you love so much? Gently open your eyes. It's possible to see things that once seemed so, so far away. That is love. That is peace. That is hope. That is fight. Thank you.